Hi, I'm Cassandra Jones. I'm a registered specialist wellness counselor affiliated with Company Wellness Solutions. And today we're going to be talking about gender based violence and the South African laws. So, the main questions that we're going to answer today is how does the law protect South African women? How do we access that protection? And what does that protection look like? What kind of legal system does South Africa have in terms of gender-based violence? The strength of gender-based violence laws are ranked internationally from a scale of 0 to 3, with 3 meaning fully provided for. That is, legal laws, protections are actually provided for, and definitions are also provided. 0 being there aren't enough laws around that situation. Currently, rape is normally ranked at around 2.5, meaning internationally most countries are aware and do have some laws involved for rape. Marital rape, however, most countries do not have this one criminalized as yet. Technically, South Africa is ranked at a level 3 because we have laws in place specifically for gender-based violence. So the question is, what are these laws? The laws are the Protection from Harassment Act, Domestic Violence Act, and the Criminal Sexual Offences and Related Amendment, as well as the criminal regulations for that act. Each act specifies definitions, the processes to follow, and the relief provided for survivors. I will break down the 3 main acts that we have for gender-based violence. The Protection from Harassment Act number 17 of 2011. I'm going to pause the screen so you can have a look at the act itself. The Domestic Violence Act, number 116 of 1998. I will pause the screen so you may have a look. And now the third important act to note for gender-based violence, and that is the Criminal Law, Sexual Offences and Related Matters Amendment and Regulations. I will pause the screen so you may have a look. So the protection afforded to women with all these three acts is something called a protection order. All three acts work together, and the protection order can be applied for by you or by someone close to you with your consent. There are three steps in obtaining a protection order. The first step would be an application. The second step is an interim order, and the final step is obtaining the final protection order. All forms for the protection orders can be obtained from the Department of Justice website. Important to note is that the website also specifies specific forms for the specific acts. So if it's an harassment form, then you're legally bound by the Harassment Act. And a domestic violence form is specific for the Domestic Violence Act. So the main question now is, who can actually go to the courts to apply for you? So like I said, you can go, or someone that you trust can go, as long as they have your written consent. And what you need is an affidavit from the police station. And this affidavit must be filled with your proof and every single situation in which you find you need that protection from. Please note that you have to make sure you include every little thing to strengthen your case. And all these affidavits and forms are then handed over to the magistrate court. An interim order affords you protection based on what you've written in your application. It's important to note that after 10 days of this order being delivered to the respondent, they have the right to then approach the courts with their response. Whether they make a claim against you and ask for protection for themselves against you is wholly up to them. The protection afforded for you in the interim order is based on what you asked for. And if the respondent contravenes any of these, they can be held liable. and that would also be taken into consideration by the magistrate court when determining your final protection order. In order for the final protection order to be given out, both parties have to appear in court. It's important to note that you'll both have to bring in your own evidence, and this final protection order is then the lasting protection order. So, with the long process of getting a protection order, it is clear the law ain't perfect. So what can we do about that? Currently, our laws are still being developed, and there are 3 that are being amended. First of all is the Domestic Violence Act. They are trying to expedite the process, meaning you get your protection much earlier. The second one is the sex offenders list. They are trying to make this list available to the public. It's currently only available to SAPS employees. And the final one is there'll be stricter bail conditions. All of these are still under question and are to be decided by the legislators. Thank you for listening to us on this presentation on gender-based violence and the South African laws. Should you suspect anyone, or if you are undergoing any gender-based violence or what you suspect could be, please feel free to reach a line to Company Wellness Solutions. We do have a lot of counselors who are willing to assist you through this difficult time.